Hi everyone, Paul Akers, host of the American Innovator. You know, the innovative spirit is alive and well, and everywhere I travel around the world, I bring back ideas and creativity to share with my audience to continuously improve and change the way we live. Welcome to the American Innovator.
Well, we say goodbye to Ngorongoro Crater. Well, the next morning we woke up early and we began our journey to our next stop, Lake Manyara Tree Lodge. We journeyed down the road not very far before we found a troop of baboons, and they were so cool. I've never seen this many. And the interesting thing is, normally you can't get real close to these guys, but they were not intimidated at all by the car, and we got right up on them and really saw some interesting things. Look at these two babies playing. Isn't that hysterical?
Look at this guy. This is the Paul version of a baboon. Is this guy enjoying that? Hey, put your pecker back in.
Sometimes the strangest things happen. And from there we went on to the airport, and that's where we met our ranger Peter, where he gave us a briefing. But to get into the airport, a little bit of a rough road, but that's Africa, and we love every part of it.
Here is the small town which I was telling you about. It's known as
we also met Christina and Julian from Seattle, of all places. So we had some friends to go along our journey. And then we got to a lookout point looking over Lake Manyara. It's just beautiful. This is the Great Rift Valley. And from there we stopped by and we saw a giant baobab tree. Now I've never seen one before, but these things are massive. They can grow up to 1,800 years old. This one's about 800. And from there we stopped into town real quick, picked up some bananas. Julian got some money, and we began our journey, and we went to the entrance to the Lake Manyara State Park. And this is the road we traveled all the way along the lake. It took us about 4 hours. We saw so many interesting things. But before we did that, we actually stopped for a beautiful lunch. And then we began to take pictures and videos, and the wildlife was abundant. We barely finished lunch and we came across this gigantic herd of elephants. Never seen this many elephants. And the interesting thing is, look at the baby. The baby is generally always hidden and protected by the mother and the larger adult males. But she's kind of hiding him here. There, you can see her peeking through. Look how little. The elephant has no predators, except for when they're babies, they can be taken out by the lions.
I've never seen this many elephants before.
And then we came across a giraffe just kind of peeking his head through. That's some fabulous pictures here. And this is so interesting. The African ants are very industrious, and he's won a battle with the termite, and he's carrying the termite off. And then these are a couple dik-diks, and they're actually trying to mate. Notice the male's front leg. He's been injured. Then we came across another giraffe. And then this next thing is amazing. Look at the size of this nest. It's like a 150-pound nest.
It belongs to a certain breed. It's just a brown breed. I hope we'll see it before we get to the camp. Actually, we can end
a very small brown bird, and there it is. And it makes this gigantic nest with all these different chambers and everything inside of it. And Peter's actually seen the leopard sitting on top of that nest. Then we came across a huge herd of water buffaloes just grazing right next to the lake. These are a couple of the old men. These are the guys that get kicked out of the herd when they get old, and their history. They call it the Bachelor Club.
Never get a picture of them because they run away so fast.
And this is a ground hornbill. These guys are fascinating. We saw them everywhere. And look at the black-backed jackals right there, laying in the grass as the birds go by them. These guys seem to walk for miles. We saw quite a few of them. They fly very little. And then just as we approached camp, we saw this hyena slipping into the woods. And as always, a fabulous greeting by the team of the Lake Manyara Tree Lodge, and their singing is just overwhelming. And so we got into camp very late, much later than normal, because we saw so many interesting things on the way. So we went right to our room, freshened up a little bit, went back, had dinner, and the camp was just beautiful, all lit up with candles. This is the main dining area, just on a sand area, and then the main bar area. It's just beautiful. Then we woke up at 5 o'clock in the morning for our early morning range drive to an outdoor shower. It was fantastic. We had our guard take us up to the car because lots of animals were out in the morning.
Good morning, Peter. How are you?
We've met Peter again.
Right. I'm ready to go.
In the truck.
Jumbo.
On to our morning safari. Now listen what Peter says here. He's going to look for the morning newspaper.
Morning news.
Yeah, your morning news is right here.
Yeah.
Right? Looking for the morning news.
Yeah. You see some tracks actually they are not really clear, but those are from the white-tailed monkeys. Materials from the grass, some of the sticks that have been unchewed. And if you could find like the dried poo, if you try to split it,
Yeah.
you'll still find some seeds in it. Actually, different varieties of plant stuff that have not been chewed or like digested. Yeah.
How many stomachs do they have?
Actually, the elephants have got only one stomach. They are not ruminants actually.
Yeah.
It's amazing the knowledge of the rangers. I've never asked them a question they haven't known.
Yeah. Because they don't get as much out of it.
The top of the other tree, as that's where they.
And then this tree has been taken over by another tree, so it's the host tree. Look at this, completely engulfed by another tree.
Here actually it was known with the other guys whom. Here we have got two different tracks. Like this particular one here, you can see it's a little bit roundish. This is actually from a leopard.
So this is the morning news.
It comes here like this. And here
That's
actually,
the pad.
that's the pad. And here actually are the toes.
Yeah, you can clearly see that's leopard.
Yeah. While for the hyenas, it's much longer. It's this one here. Actually, you can see this is a pad, but it has got like three different pads.
Smaller.
Yeah, you can see this one here, the second one, and the third one before these are. You can see there are some like claw marks here.
Yes, I see them.
Yeah, at least.
The key is learning to be
normally
observant.
with the hyenas, they normally expose their claws, while the leopard normally retract them completely. So when they walk, you hardly see the leopard's claws. While for the hyenas, you can see the claw marks right in front of their toes. Yeah.
So it was just walking along the road here.
Yeah, though actually they were heading this way. So I hope maybe the same leopard you had roaring close to your room, it was actually coming from this direction at night. Yeah. So maybe.
So we had a leopard at our room the night before. You could hear it panting. Ooh, ooh, ooh. It was quite interesting. Of course, we only have screens on our room. There's no windows. So the sun begins to peek up through the trees, and we enter into something called baboon forest. It's fascinating. A huge canopy of acacia trees that are very, very tall, and all the baboons live up there.
We're in Baboon City, and the baboons are up in the trees, and this is a beautiful place. Look at the canopy of the trees, and this is sunrise.
We just start to get some of the baboons coming awake. It's very interesting. When they wake up in the morning, first thing they do is go to the bathroom, and they're dropping loads everywhere.
Hey, so what do you think of my camera?
Wow, it's incredible. Actually, it's the best camera ever. Myself, actually, it's going to be like my dream to have this camera.
And you're out in the bush all the time with all these expensive cameras. And
actually, but this is really, really something.
It really is, isn't it? It's an awesome camera.
Wow.
I've never had a guide or a ranger ever pick up my camera and want to use it. And you're the first one because it's just so awesome.
Oh, wow. Wow, this is really something. You know, like, I was really surprised. You know, like the hornbill that we saw yesterday, it was really, really far away, like miles away. But from the way that he zoomed it in, and you could see it was just like there, you know, like 5 meters away from us. It's really incredible.
Needless to say, we came prepared this time to Africa with the right equipment. We had a great Sony video camera, and the Canon still shot camera did a fabulous job.
Yeah, see the tree?
This is the hornbill that Peter was talking about.
It's a African grey hornbill.
Amazing how you can zoom in on this. Here it is right here. So he was way far away and we came right in on him. You know, they say it's all about the details, and in Africa you just watch for those small little things like this flower growing on the side of this tree. And then here the impalas are just playing in the morning, frolicking. The morning's a great time for the game drives.
He seems to be heading out.
And here's a hippo, just kind of walking along, grazing.
The waterfall as well.
And look at how small this water buffalo is, a little baby. Notice their ears, they're below their horns. It's fascinating.
So guys, this is my brother.
This is your brother?
Don't we look alike? Just look at our faces.
Are you really, brother?
You can tell, actually, you don't have to insist.
Okay, see you guys.
Have a nice trip, enjoy Zanzibar. Good luck.
So Julian and Christina only got to stay for one day, and they were on their way back to the airport.
These are the old bulls right here that have been kicked out of the herd, and there's a young bull in there that's keeping him out, and he's trying to get back in now. And we'll see whether or not we get a fight going on.
So in amongst the water buffaloes were some warthogs, and these are fascinating. Look at the grass. They're just hiding there. And they run away with their tail up. And look at this. Beautiful bird. Again, we're zoomed in. And then the mongooses, they're hysterical. They're like a little comedy club. It's a whole family of them. And some beautiful lizards. So after we've been driving for about 2 hours, we stopped for breakfast at the Lake Manyara hot springs. It's just beautiful.
Hot. Woo! Hot.
That's the Kilimanjaro coffee.
And then Peter prepares a fabulous breakfast.
And
great coffee. And then what happens next is amazing. We meet James's parents, our first ranger at Pinda Forest. Watch this. I happened to be filming this truck going down the side of the road just because I thought it was interesting looking, and everything unfolded. It's really remarkable.
The stealth eye pole with you, because I like to use it to brace against.
So I was shooting an eye pole commercial
without shaking when I'm zooming in,
to show people how I use the eye pole in conjunction with our camera. And then down the road comes James's parents, and so I said, I'm going to film this because I think that van that they were driving, the truck they were driving, was very interesting. And she even mentioned that I had left an eye pole with James when I left. So what a coincidence. Here it goes.
Great time.
With James. We did. We love him. If you told him,
we love him.
He would say, "Oh, I know exactly."
Yeah, the video.
Yes. Yes.
This is Africa.
So I guess I'm known for my videos.
What are the chances?
I don't believe this is actually.
I put it on a video. And here I decide to videotape you coming down the road. I go, such a cool shot. Our son works at Pinda. Have you been to Pinda? Favorite, you see James?
I love James.
He took a shooting. We did everything with him.
About the one with, did you see the part where our friend Cindy Crawford and Paul's making us do the B-roll? And he goes, I can't work under these
conditions. Did you remember that?
And didn't you give James?
Yeah, the eye pole. Yeah, we just shot a commercial for it just a second ago. Just shot a commercial for it.
What is the chance of that?
This is the smallest world we're in the middle of the bush in Africa.
I'm going to take a picture and I'm going to email it to James. What is the chance of this? Wow. This was meant to be.
I cannot believe it's actually.
Are you going to see him?
Hi, Peter and Liz. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, the chances of this happening are so remote.
Coming to gate crash.
And here we meet James's parents,
in the middle.
We have lots of leftovers. We were just saying we hope you don't throw this
Now
away.
they're on their own safari.
Liz and Daniel, right?
Yes,
Pleasure.
very nice to meet you.
So they're kind of used to doing this because they're from South Africa.
James was our very first range driver ever when we came.
Yeah, he introduced us to Africa.
And the next place we went, we said, I don't know if you can be as good as James.
We had such a great time. Shaw Safari.
Shaw is the name of the village in the UK where they
Oh, and it's totally
Now
equipped.
Daniel's going to show me his truck
water containers
and how it's
there.
all set up
Yeah.
for them to do their own safari.
Gas.
I don't think I'm ready for this
They
yet.
gave
I
us
think I'm going to stick
hot
with
and
Ambient.
with tin food and that, and tomato sauce and everything else. Cleaning kits, bottle openers, sieves, everything. Look
I
on the
remember
website.
James telling us that as a child they used to go on safari all the time, and here we get to see the confidence of his father and his mother doing this.
And then we have
No wonder
here are the
James
two
became a
batteries.
ranger.
So
Yeah.
you can read, the one battery to the vehicle, the other battery is to run the fridge. GPS, safe.
I asked Daniel where he
Wow, you
sleeps,
guys
and they
are
sleep
saying
up
you
on
sleep
top
on
of the
top?
van.
Here there's a electrical inverter.
And
You can
off
charge
camera,
battery
he admitted
cameras. You
he's
can
always
charge
just a little
cell
nervous as
phones.
well.
Oh, nice. Yeah, converter. Yeah, I see the converter. And then you sleep on top.
Remember,
Sleep on top. That's at
That's
10.
crazy.
we are amongst
Don't the
wild
leopards
animals.
like the top of cars?
And beyond.
No. Nothing compares to and beyond. No way.
No bathtub with roses around.
Yeah.
So Daniel showed me on his camera what the whole
got the
setup
whole
looks
thing
like
all
when they get
tented
going.
out
They
right
sleep
there.
up on top there. They have their little canopy, and then we were on our way down to the lake, and we saw these flamingos. And look at how they're pumping the mud with their legs. Looks like they're on a treadmill.
You know what
And
they
they're
do?
knocking or
They just grab
agitating
some
the mud
shrimps
so
or
the shrimp
something
come
in the
up
mud,
so
you know,
they can eat
hide.
them.
Those shrimps hide in the mud. So whenever they do that, they are like disturbing.
Think
the-
about God's design
while
on
actually
these
they
birds.
keep their head in the water.
Those are some long legs, and the wildlife and the birds are just everywhere. Got a really cool time lapse of the clouds passing over the mountains. We passed a ranger with a boat and a wooden dugout canoe.
What's this guy called? Pink and blue agamaliza.
Yeah, but that's a female. The males
And
actually are the-
these giraffes are necking, so they're fighting, they're sparring. These are two males. You don't get to see this very often.
Ogre buzzard?
It seemed like in every tree there was another bird that was new and different that we'd never seen before. Now this is why you have a ranger. Check out how small this animal is, and look how far away it is. I don't think we would have saw that. Now, these crazy warthogs see us and start running to the left. Then they stop, they look at us, and they go, I don't know if that was the best direction. And they head back running the other
A
way.
herd of warthogs.
Almost comical. Then they stop and look at us again. So I got the idea of placing a couple of my action cameras down by the water to see if we could get some up close and personal video of some warthogs, some elephants. Unfortunately, we didn't get any great footage, but it was a lot of fun placing them. And then when we got to Lake Manyara Tree Lodge in the afternoon, after we'd done our whole morning game drive, they greeted us really warmly with the antics that James did about, I can't work under these conditions.
Lake Manyara Tree Lodge.
No, do it again with more passion.
I can't work in these conditions.
You see, I'm always making people do a second and third take, and so James, when I did that to James, he said, I can't work under these conditions, just joking around. So we got all the different rangers to repeat that. It was very funny. And then, of course, the lodge, just spectacular. I got this great footage of the living room area. Just, it was beautiful. Beautiful surroundings. And again, remember, there's no power. Everything's on generators, and we are literally in the middle of nowhere. And the accommodations are 5-star. And this is the dining room area in the sand. It's just wonderful. And this is why they call it a tree lodge. This was our cabin. Look at this. Beautiful. Up on stilts. The woods, the trees all around us. It was just absolutely beautiful. All screens, no windows, so you're hearing the animals at night when you're sleeping. And we had a leopard right by our porch all night. It was just really quite amazing to experience something like this. And then we went out for our afternoon drive, and we saw these hippos just kind of sunning, and then an Egyptian goose just washing off and being silly.
African spoon.
So when we saw these storks, we just literally sat, I think, for at least an hour and observed these, because it's just fascinating to see them first fish, and then they got ready and started grooming themselves, getting ready to come in for the evening onto land. And just the whole process, you could actually predict what they were going to do. As we watched them, you could just tell when they were about ready to fly when they got done primping themselves. And I sped up the camera a little bit here just for fun. And look at the size of these birds, they're huge. And they all come ashore. Now the funny thing is, we sat there and watched this and filmed it and just had a great time.
They're saying they're not going to go get wet again.
And then we drove down the road and we scared them back into the water after they'd all primped themselves.
They're all pissed now at us. We just got to dry it up. And the guys out there that are in the water, they're laughing. I told you not to go in.
If they could speak.
Look too soon, man.
So I've got the stealth eye pole on my Canon camera, braced on my leg, down into there, so I'm totally stable now. Then I push my video mode on this, and I can zoom in and get perfect shots. 50 times.
So this is how I did all this video.
In the middle of that, I can
by using the eye pole, I was able to have great stability.
So Peter, what do you think? Do you think we got any good shots on the GoPro?
Yeah, that's what I really hope.
We're gonna go find out.
Especially either from the warthogs.
Yeah, we just had a whole bunch of them run across the field.
Yeah. And even those monkeys which are running with the warthogs together, probably before they could have come from this direction. So hopefully they came from somewhere around here.
They came over to our camera.
Oh yeah,
yeah, they've got lots of stuff right here where they've been digging.
Yeah, I can see like these are like newer proteins from this afternoon.
So we set up two cameras, one by the monkeys.
You can see we just set it right there.
And one by the watering hole. And we didn't get any footage in either one, but when we set them up, there were tons of animals everywhere, but then they didn't come back. Maybe we didn't wait long enough. But then we had a great little afternoon drink out in the middle of the bush, and we have a guard there.
Thank you.
A Maasai warrior with the spear.
Cheers.
And we met this mother and daughter from Michigan who are on safari.
We love Africa.
No, what happens next is unbelievable. Look at this. Wildebeest running in the lake. What would be the chances of that happening?
This is about the coolest
and we got
thing.
spectacular photographs as well.
I see them walking, but I never see them romping.
What are they doing?
They're practicing for the Olympics.
They were strengthening their legs for the race.
He wins.
Isn't that what you do when you're a runner?
Then when we got back in the evening, again, the ambiance was over the top. We just relaxed before dinner.
It's and beyond.
And they tricked us and told us, hey, we want you to come down to the pool and see the hippos in the pool. And we go, what? And they had a beautiful table set up for us with a fire, a guard. It was just so over the top.
Sounds delicious.
Make sure, please, have it much as you can. Then when you finish, don't forget to go there.
Jump in the pool.
We'll jump in the pool.
Jump there. Otherwise, welcome and enjoy your meals.
Thank you.
Karibu.
Okay, so what they're doing right now is they're eating little onions, right?
Yeah.
Onions?
Those tubers.
They're tubas, and it's basically tubers.
Tubas.
The grass has little onion bulbs, right?
So on our last day, we did our game drive as we headed towards the airport, and we saw a lot of incredible things. I think someday this is going to be me. I'm going to be sitting there digging in the ground for my food. Isn't this guy comical? Watch how fast he starts digging here. No, I sped it up. I'm just playing with you. Huge troop of baboons. And then we have the impalas are playing in the background, and this guy got looks like hurt by a leopard.
The leopard got him, right?
Might have been attacked.
Watch this baby that's coming up. These two juveniles playing. And then look at the size of this guy. He's about a week old. Very, very small.
Sorry? How old's that baby? A day?
No, actually it's old, just like a week. You see the other baboon at the back? You know, the babies are always cute, and some of the baboons, they normally wish to play or to hold those babies, you know, just to embrace them. So that's why you saw it went on the other side just to sneak around. Because
he likes the big.
Yeah, because whenever the mom sees that, the mom will just...
Look at this guy. Up on the back, then he swings around, he gets on the bottom.
Tiny baby, see over there, it's like
a week old.
Look at him.
Pretty capable animal.
A gray-headed kingfisher.
So look at this fish eagle. It's just huge. And it's capable of lifting 2 or 3 times its weight.
No,
And this is the hammer cope. This is the one that builds that gigantic nest. Just birds everywhere. Remember, you're right by the lake, so everywhere you look, it's just thick with birds. And then I got these wildebeest, and they were just beautiful as well.
Oh.
Then we caught this elephant taking a dust bath, but he didn't like it, so he gave us a trumpet and said, "Get out of here." Kind of scared us for just a minute.
That was actually... Oh crap.
He's
Let's
warning
stay
us.
here. Let's see what he does
Can
here.
you tell I like adventure?
He's warning us.
Calm down, Leanne. You can handle it.
Yeah, this is great video. Just relax.
Anything for a good video shot. And then as we got ready to leave that day, they did the traditional singing for us to wish us goodbye.
He's so nice.
And they were just so amazing, their voice. So listen up. You can never get enough of this. Listen to the spirit of Africa. This transports me back. It's almost like being there watching this again.
I can't walk with this condition.
Well, there's nothing like going out with a bang, and what happens next is unbelievable.
Monster huge.
Look at the size of this bull
Gosh,
elephant.
look at the size of this guy.
So I'm thinking, this is cool. This elephant's coming towards us down the road. Let's just kind of watch this, or maybe even get a little closer.
So what does that mean? He's pissed?
They normally
Look at him. He's upset.
they are now ready to mate. So they normally, the levels of their testosterone, they normally rise and they make them to...
Are you going to back up or are you going to let him go by us?
Actually, they normally be aggressive and they can really...
Because I would love to see this guy up close.
But it's dangerous, you cannot do that because you don't want to be myself.
Thankfully, Peter knew what he was doing.
What's he doing right now? He's
This
saying, get the hell out of here?
elephant is warning us, and we are backing up briskly down this road for quite a while to get away from this elephant.
Oh my gosh, we're in trouble, man. This guy's after us.
So initially I was excited to see him because I thought, wow, this would be cool to see an elephant this big, this close. But then I started getting my adrenaline pumping and realizing we are actually in danger.
Oh, he's coming
And
at
Peter
us, man.
knew it, and you can see how far we're backing up to get away from this elephant. Because he is coming for us. That's all there is to it.
He's getting off. Good.
You know, whenever you reverse, actually they normally relax. But if
So
you
at this
don't,
point, we got a little
you
reprieve,
might get yourself
and I'm
in
thinking,
serious trouble.
maybe we're okay. But then he comes at us
That's what I
again.
think. Look at him. Look at him.
And at this
go.
point, I'm thinking to myself, this is it. This is how I'm going to die. I'm going to die in Africa being, rammed by a bull elephant must.
So you call
So
it
he
he's in
takes over?
mast? What does that mean? Heat?
Sort of a heat, yeah. But only...
M-A-S-T?
Actually, it's a M-U-S-T-H.
M-U-S.
M-U-S-T-H.
Mast. And it
So he's
means
resting
he
a little
wants
bit,
to mate,
but
or
he's
he's
coming
just
back
doesn't-
at us.
Looking actually
Watch
for the
this.
females which are ready, and they even tend to be aggressive towards other elephants beside humans.
And so how did you know? What were the signs that you saw?
If you look
He
through
puts
the
his
binocle,
ears back.
Okay, wait. Yeah, keep going. I'm listening. I'm looking at him close up. I've got him on video. What are the signs?
if you look at him, you know those are weeping glands just behind their eyes. They normally weep a lot, and if you look at him just between the rear legs, you'll see at him he'll be dripping.
You can see it very clearly
The
there.
glands behind the eyes, hey?
That
Yeah,
wet
you see
streak
actually
right
it's
there
weight.
behind his eye.
Oh yeah, I do see that. They're wet.
Yeah, and beside that, look at him right underneath his rear legs. He's all wet all over the shore.
And where does that wetness come from?
It is actually due to the increase of the testosterone.
Holy mackerel, this guy he's ready to go, man.
He really doesn't like us yet.
No,
So
he's
Peter
moving
has this whole
this way,
thing
so
planned
look how
out.
quickly
and
he's
what he
moving.
does is brilliant. Now look at him come at us now.
We can't outrun him, can't we?
Actually, we have to find the place where actually we can even
crap.
far away.
The answer was no, we can't outrun him.
It could be scary. Why is that little one following?
Now look how far we backed up thus far. A long, long way.
You're not allowed to go off the road if you're going
And we
out for
actually
safety,
rescued
Actually,
the car that's following him because he was going for that car. When we drove down the road, he saw us and he turned around and came towards us.
You might get stuck.
So this
and
guy
then you're
comes
really
and
in trouble.
thanks us
And the other
for
cars are
diverting
chasing
his
so that makes
attention.
you wanna run
And here he comes again. Look at his
Naturally,
ears
they're just
back.
coming behind him.
Well, I think this is the most scared I've ever been in Africa right now. Holy mackerel, man. This guy is coming at us. We are freaking in trouble. Look at him
Look
go.
at this.
Yeah?
He says, I'm going to get you.
Shit, this might be our last moment, Leanne.
No, really.
I have never seen anything like this.
You know what? Let's trick him.
So did you hear that? Peter said, let's trick
What the hell are
him.
you going to do?
So Peter pulls off and goes around the road, which
you
is a
sure?
little risky because
Okay,
you
here
could
we
get
go,
stuck,
guys.
but he knew what he was
Now
doing.
the excitement goes.
And he got behind a
Now the
tree, so if
excitement
the elephant
happens.
came at us, it had to chase us around the tree, and then Peter could run out the back side and forward, going forward. So it was
He's on
very,
your side,
very
Leanne,
smart
so
the way
there's
he
no
handled it.
problem.
I don't know if I like it.
Just relax. I'm getting to get it on video.
You're gonna
When
get
we
him
die.
on video killing me?
We are going off-roading to get away from this boat.
No, we actually gave him enough space, so he wants to.
You can tell he won't.
There's nothing like a well-trained ranger. That's all I could say. They're taught to give these elephants a good berth, a lot of space.
Uh-oh, he's...
Leanne, relax. Don't do anything to get him pissed off.
Don't draw attention to them. Don't whistle. Don't smile. Just let them pass by.
We just avoided an encounter with a very big bull.
Now that other car needs to worry, don't they?
That was as close as anything I've ever had in
Maybe
Africa.
good as off-roading as us.
Okay, actually, when we were reversing, I knew that no way we could reverse all the way, maybe like towards the river or the bridge that has been washed. But actually, the plan that I had is that there was that bush that was on our right, I mean to the right of the road.
Right.
So I knew if he keeps on following us, that's why I wanted to keep our distance from him. So that whenever we get there, we'll use the advantage of that bush. In case he goes behind the bush, we'll keep going with the main road. In case he keeps on coming along with the main road, we just go around behind the bush. So in case he could have...
kind of outrun him a little bit, kind of outfake him.
Sorry?
Fake him out.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so that was the plan, and we did exactly that way, and he actually couldn't get us, and we thought like, okay, you guys have given up, and let me just leave you and keep going with whatever actually the plan he had. Yeah, so that's what exactly.
Good training.
Thank you.
So what did the guy say when he pulled up in the van?
You know, that guy, when he put up the van and when we were having the conversation, he told me, at least, you know, I saw you that you tricked it very nicely because we were in trouble. He just came straight to us and we were just stopping there trying to look for the carcass where actually the lions left it. So the moment that elephant appeared, no way they could switch on the engine because they could terrify him even more. So they had to sit still and just wait and see. So he flapped the ears, he just did like a mock charge towards them so that he could see whatever they could do, like a reaction. Sometimes you might think you are doing the right thing and you find that you messed it up. So they decided to keep quiet and freeze. So he thought like, okay, maybe there is nothing, so he decided to ignore them. So the moment he saw us, I mean ahead of him, that's when he left the other guys and started coming towards us. So that's actually, was what was happening
So
there.
we were the bait in this case.
Exactly, and being a bait, we saved the other guys. Yeah.
And you had a plan, and thank God you did.
Exactly.
Well, we had a fantastic time in Lake Manyara. Peter dropped us off at the airport. We are on to our next adventure, the Serengeti. Stay tuned next week for the American Innovator.
Remember, life's an adventure. Be a part of the solution. Go out, learn, improve, change, think outside the box. We can change the way the world thinks. Be an innovator. I really got to stop getting myself in these situations. That's a leopard, and that's an elephant. Yes, and this is a cheetah.
Like, oh, I saw
Here,
that.
kitty, 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 kitty.
Cute. He wants to play.
Uh-oh. Got it.